With it being 7 o'clock, would you please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. All right, there are no one signed up for public comments, so at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Dr. Krippler.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tenorio. Good evening, everyone. And I want to thank those that are here this evening in the audience, as well as those watching us online. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us for our regular school board meeting. I greatly appreciate that. At this time, we will go ahead and begin the business at hand that the board needs to consider. So we will start with Roman numeral 1, which is the consent agenda. The items under the consent agenda are the approval of minutes, financial fiscal information, extracurricular hirings, donations that have been presented to us. So those are the items under the consent agenda, and I recommend to the board that they approve the consent agenda as presented to you this evening.
Dr. Krippler, would you mind reading off the donations? I always want to give everybody their due credit, please.
Yes, thank you. The following organizations under donations have provided school supplies, pens, pencils, paper, folders, those kinds of things for our students that need a little bit of help getting those school supplies to start the school year. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'd like to recognize the Hobart Township Councilman, 5th District, I believe, William Perry, and the Hobart Township Trustee, Fred Williams, for their donations of school supplies. And Chapel Lawn Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens and Kuiper Funeral Home for their donations of school supplies for our students. And they are greatly appreciated and they're being used. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Krippler. You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. What's the board's pleasure? Motion, we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I would like to just take a moment to thank Christine Pipa. She is the representative from the school that came to collect the donation from Chapel Lawn and Kuiper Funeral Homes. Chapel Lawn and Kuiper are the funeral homes that I manage. This was our first year since I've been there trying to do a toy drive. We had a decent little turnout. We're hoping to build on it and continue to do it and hopefully be able to help out more than just Lake Station schools in the future if we can get it to be a big enough event. So thank you, Christine, for coming out that evening and collecting the donation.
Any other discussions? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Biggs?
Aye.
Ms. Curtis?
Aye.
Mr. Music?
Aye.
Mr. Wright?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Moving on to items under personnel, I'm recommending to the board this evening that they approve to hire the following classified staff members. Brandy King to work in the cafeteria as cafeteria assistant 1 here at Edison. Melinda Smith as a cafeteria 1 assistant over at Bailey Elementary School. And Vicki Hernandez Beck as a paraprofessional working at Hamilton Elementary School.
Mr. President, so move.
We have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take a vote. Mr. Biggs?
Aye.
Ms. Curtis?
Aye.
Mr. Music?
Aye.
Mr. Wright?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Item number 2, I'm recommending to the board this evening that they approve to hire Bailey Lauritsen as the guidance counselor here at Edison Junior Senior High School, beginning with the 24-25 school year.
So move.
Motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? I'm just glad we finally got one. That's a real important position. So glad we're able to fill that. What else?
I agree with what you said.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Hearing no more discussion, we'll take it to vote. Mr. Biggs?
Aye.
Ms. Curtis?
Aye.
Mr. Music?
Aye.
Mr. Wright?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Item number 3 is informational only, so there's nothing to come before the board to vote on. But I want to share information with the board and also with our audience and people online. And it pertains to teacher evaluations. The General Assembly in 2023 session through Senate Enrolled Act 486 requires each school corporation in the state of Indiana to develop or adopt a plan or annual performance review of its certified staff. That's teachers and administrators. A school corporation may adopt the Department of Education's model plan or adopt one of its own. The plan must include a designation of each certificated employee in one of the following areas. So at the end, the evaluation must rate the certified employee as either highly effective, improvement necessary, or ineffective. The state has provided an evaluation plan that they call RISE 3.0, which was included in the Senate Enroll Act 486, and it can be used by school corporations here in Indiana. Lake Station Schools has always used the state evaluation plan, RISE 3.0, with some modifications. We would like this year to continue to use the RISE evaluation plan. There continues to be 4 parts or domains that make up the teacher evaluation plan. Domain 1, purposeful planning. Domain 2, effective instruction. Domain 3 is teacher leadership. And domain 4 is core professional practice. The only change or modification is we will continue not to use student assessment results from statewide tests in a teacher evaluation. And that also was approved, allowing us to do that in the Senate Enroll Act 1002, which occurred during the 2020 General Assembly. So with that one variation that we are allowed to do by law, we are using all the other components of the RISE 3.0 evaluation or the state model teacher evaluation. And we will continue to do that and use that model this current school year. Moving on to new business that comes before the board. Item number 1, I recommend to the board that they approve the following out-of-state field trips. Between February 4th and March 7th, the Chicago Shakespeare Theater at Chicago's Navy Pier, Mr. Pagan, our English teacher, would like to take his students to see the Shakespeare Theater and one of their plays. October 13th, the Natural Trail Yoga in Orland Park, Illinois, for our cheerleaders. And November 8th, the La Prempre, I don't speak French, sorry, in Chicago. The French Club and the French classes would like to go there and experience the French culture and the French meal at that time. So at this point, I would recommend to the board that they approve the out-of-state field trips.
It's the board's pleasure.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the field trip?
I got a request. Could you remind the audience and the people here, I mean, online, why we have to vote on out of states? Every time I'd like you to mention that because we're right here next to Chicago, but it's out of state.
Certainly. We have a school board policy, and the policy in place is for field trips that occur out of the state of Indiana does require board approval. Even though we're 30 miles away from Illinois or less, Illinois is out of state, so it requires board approval for that board policy to be complied with. You're welcome.
The only other comment that I have, and Dr. Kripliver, I'd like you to make sure that I'm correct on this. With these trips, this is probably a little bit on the hopeful side that the referendum passes, because if the referendum doesn't pass, they may have to fund their transportation for this themselves. If the referendum passes, the transportation will be paid for by the school system, correct?
Right, that is correct. But currently, the ones coming up in October and November. The parents, the children, the clubs are financing those trips.
My grandson went on one today and my son paid for the bus.
So, yes, I'm hoping the referendum goes through and we don't have to pass on those costs, but
So he told me. Anyway.
it is what it is for now.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. Mr. Biggs,
Aye.
Ms. Curtis,
Aye.
Mr. Music,
Aye.
Mr. Wright,
Aye.
and I vote aye.
Item number 2, I'm recommending to the board that they approve the self-certified micro purchasing threshold for the 2024-2025 school year per board policy of 6325, which requires us to annually review and annually approve that policy. So that's why I'm bringing it to the board this evening.
Mr. President, so moved.
Motion,
Second.
motion a second. Any discussion on the item?
Could you state the dollar amount on that policy?
Yes, that policy raises the spending level to $50,000. So that was in the policy to do that. And as I said, the board has to annually review that. And through the certified micro purchasing, that's the title of the policy. That's why I've asked you to annually review it this evening.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, we'll take it to vote. Mr. Biggs,
Aye.
Ms. Curtis,
Aye.
Mr. Music.
Aye.
Mr. Wright,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion passes.
Mr. President, that's all the business that I have to come before the board this evening, except to announce and remind everyone that the next regular school board meeting will be held Wednesday, October the 2nd, not our usual meeting date. It'll be Wednesday, October the 2nd, and it'll be here at Edison Junior Senior High School in this room, the community room. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Cripplever. Mr. Biggs, got any?
Yeah, I got a question. If we're having that meeting on October 2nd, are we also having our regular board meeting that month?
Yes, and that meeting will be held October 16th.
Yeah, I got it down, but I just wasn't sure if I had to scratch it. Okay. All I could say is we need to get that referendum passed in November. To help us out. I appreciate your vote. Thanks.
Ms. Curtis?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody in the room here and, oh, where'd he go? Mr. Stoner. For hosting us today and people from the community that have joined us. I love that. And online, welcome. So we have some really tough decisions and these are incredibly rough waters. We had a comparison of Band-Aids and tourniquets and stuff. I'm kind of looking at it as we got a systemic bacterial infection going here, and they have sucked the money out of our community, and it's the state. The more I look at how they position fragile school districts like ours, it's so sad. It's very bothersome. And I don't know how our administration has the courage to look at this every day, but they are working very hard and people in the community are coming out. It's absolutely amazing. Even if you're on the fence, come to our community connection meetings, ask the questions, get to know why a strong school district is so important for a community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curtis. Mr. Music, you're up.
Just a couple of reminders. I believe it's October 7th is the last day to register to vote. The election is November 5th, so, I encourage you to, come out and do your civic duty. We do appreciate what everyone here does, and I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I'll keep it kind of brief tonight since I'm struggling with my bronchitis here, so thank you.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Mr. Stoner's here. He's got a lot going on tonight, so thanks for hosting us. Thanks for everybody's here in person and online. referendum. Let's support our community. Strong school, strong community. That's all I can keep saying. Earlier today, we had the homecoming parade. That was pretty fun. I got to pull the sophomores in that with the trailer. That was a good time. It's good to see them have a good time. Right now, we have our almost anything goes games going on outside on the football field. I did spend some time out there, and when I came in, these sophomores were undefeated. So we'll see if they're going to keep that going. I don't know. I've missed a few being in here, but good luck to all of them. And sophomores were killing it. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. For everybody online, we had 3 members of the community come in, and they were able to ask us a couple of questions before the meeting started. They did not want to speak in the meeting, but I am so happy you guys came and asked some very respectful, polite questions, not reading everything online and being misinformed. I'm glad you came here to get the correct and honest information, and I really thank you for that. But I do just want to remind you that we will be having some town halls where everybody in the community will be invited to come and ask those questions, and we'll answer them and ask any questions you want to get the truth, and not to believe everything you read online, because most of it is inaccurate. So I'm really thankful that you guys came. I truly am. And, just ask some nice questions that you had on your mind, and hopefully we answered them for you. But again, remind the community that we will be having some town halls about the referendum, and everybody will be invited to come and ask the questions and get the answers they're looking for. So again, thank you. And I thank everybody else for coming. So Dr. Krippler, wait, nope. Ms. Pipa, you have anything to say? Oh, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I want to echo what Mr. Tenorio said. Thank you, gentlemen, for asking your questions and for coming out. It is so important to us that people have the right information to base their decision on what's best for their family and their community. So thank you very much. Besides our town hall meetings, Dr. Krippler and I are available at any time. Please feel free to stop by central office, and we'd be more than happy to have conversations with you and answer any questions you may have about the referendum. So I wanted to make sure that all of you were aware that we are here for you and our community. Also, a big shout out to the Hobart YMCA and Melissa, who is in charge of the swim program. For the past few years, we have had a relationship with the Hobart YMCA where students of ours can go and have swim lessons, a swim class. They can get credit for that, as well as be certified as a lifeguard and be hired either through the city or through the Hobart YMCA to be a certified lifeguard. So we have been lucky to have had grants on our own to help pay for some of that, but the majority of it did come from YMCA and grants that they held. Not only have they helped our students, but they have actually serviced over 600 children to teach them swim lessons, which is extremely important, especially water safety with us so close to the Lake Michigan. So a big shout out to Melissa and the Hobart YMCA.
Thank you, Ms. Pipa. Dr. Krippler, closing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tenorio. I want to pick up on a point that Mr. Music made, voter registration. Voter registration ends October 7th to vote for this coming November 5th. And what you need to do is you can also check your voter status. What we have found in the past that has been very unfortunate and a surprise to some voters that came to vote, that if they have moved or changed their addresses, they are no longer registered to vote. So between now and October 7th, I would encourage everyone to double check your voter registration status to make sure that you are eligible and registered to vote for November 5th. This is homecoming week for Edison Junior Senior High School. We also are appreciating the involvement of our elementary schools in our homecoming celebration this week. And I encourage everyone to come out to our homecoming football game this coming Friday evening. We will take on Theo Bowman Charter School here at Edison. And everyone will have a good time. That's always, homecoming is always a special time for us and always a fun time for our students and our alumni. So if it works out in your schedule, please come out and join us Friday night. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is it, before we wrap it up, do you have a question, ma'am?
I just need to know how do you get a hold, how do you find out if you're registered or not?
That's a good question. You can go online. I'm thinking very quickly. It's W,
What was it, ma'am?
thank you. Say it once more for us.
Indiana voters that work, freedomvote.gov.
Or even your local board of elections. That website might be.
Jenny, did you get the website?
I did.
Okay.
All right. Well, normally I don't do this. Does anybody else have any other comments before we're at this meeting? Any from the, anybody out there have any questions? No? Okay. Then with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.